Southern Gothic is a podcast that explores the history behind the American South's darkest days, greatest mysteries, and most chilling ghost stories. But today, we aren't hitting the history books. We're going to go down to the Campfire for our annual Halloween tradition of 13 spooky tales over the course of 13 nights. So y'all, recently a friend of mine told me about this urban legend that they heard while they were in college. And it made me jealous because the only one that I remember from MTSU was that if you bought beer from this one particular market across the street from campus, you'd be doomed to live in Murfreesboro, Tennessee forever. That is, unless you went out to this particular monument that folks said was the geographic center of the state, and well, you disrespected it with your used beer, if you get my drift. Well, it's not very horrifying, is it? And it's pretty gross. But my buddy went to the University of South Carolina out in Columbia, and his story is one that is really worth telling because it not only involves hidden tunnels below the city, but also some type of disfigured man, or maybe a creature or something, that has purportedly been around for over 70 years. Prior to the Civil War, a network of underground tunnels was built under the city of Columbia, South Carolina. Their purpose was supposedly for political dignitaries so that they could travel throughout the capital city without any issues. And as such, there are still a total of 16 miles of these tunnels that remained under Columbia today. They're beneath places like the State Capitol Building and the University of South Carolina. But if these tunnels, which locals call the catacombs, aren't mysterious enough, according to legends passed down on the university's campus, a hideous creature resides inside of them, a human-like monster known simply as the Third Eye Man. On November 12, 1949, a student named Christopher Nichols was purportedly the first to come into contact with this creature. Nichols was a writer for the campus newspaper, the Gamecock, and so it's said he described the encounter in a report that was published there, claiming that he had seen a man entering the tunnels through a manhole at the Longstreet Theater. This was not just any man. In fact, Nichols referred to him as the Sewer Man and described him as disfigured with a third eye located on his forehead. Now, y'all, I'll be honest, I could not find a copy of this article anywhere, so I'm not sure what else Nichols might have said or not said. And we're just going to have to take other folks' word on whether or not this really was true. But in the end, it doesn't really matter because that student reporter was definitely not the last person to see this mutant. And rumors about the Third Eye Man spread rapidly on campus. Less than a year after that first report, a university police officer reportedly came upon the scattered remains of chickens all over the loading dock of the Longstreet Theater. So he slowly approached to see what was there, and what he found was a disturbing, disfigured man hunched over feasting on their insides, while some of those chickens were even still alive. The officers described this creature or man or whatever it was just as Nichols had, up to and including that third eye located in the center of his forehead. But he added one additional detail. The creature had silver skin. Well, in spite of this creature's reputation being passed around school, after a while the catacombs underneath it became a hotspot for middle-of-the-night partygoers. Which, as weird as it seems, remember, these are college kids. And it's even said that back in the 70s, a frat purportedly used the catacombs during Pledge Week to haze their new recruits. That is, until one day, when they took a group of pledges down there and came face to face with that man who they had originally brushed off as nothing more than urban legend. Yet this particular encounter was not like the others because they said that as soon as he saw them, the man charged at the frat boys with a lead pipe and chased them out. When the campus police came to search the catacombs for this individual, who once again they said was Silver, not a shred of evidence was found. Now, today the tunnels and the catacombs under the University of South Carolina have been shut for people's safety. After all, with or without the presence of some violent mutant down there, they're a pretty dangerous place to be playing around in. But that has not stopped the legend of the Third Eye Man from being passed down from generation to generation of new students, many of whom I'm sure question, is he still there? Southern Gothic is an independent podcast produced by siblings Brianne and Brandon Schexnayder, and this mini-episode was part of our annual Campfire Stories, a series to get you in the spirit for Halloween. We'll be back with an all-new full-length episode on October 31st, so y'all stick around if you dare.